Hey everybody, I'm Edward Sanchez. Welcome back. I want to talk to you about how to budget during a crisis or during a budget cut. So, why is this important? Right now we're seeing something that's unprecedented with this pandemic, and there are millions of people without work and not getting income. In the US, many people are seeing aid checks being deposited into their account, and you might be wondering, what is the best strategy or how can I maximize what I'm doing with the dollars that are coming in? What I want to do with you is go through a couple concepts. This is not financial advice. It's not going to be legal advice by any means, but I want to give you some tools to help you with your own thought process, if that makes sense, so that ultimately you can make the decisions that are going to help guide you into the best possible position for yourself. Overall, what we're looking at is a small amount of resources that we want to stretch out as far as we can. So when we're in a position and we're looking at reduced income, so you may be down to a single income household from two incomes, or this can happen when we see at my firm, we see our clients come in as a result of having been through either a furlough, a layoff, job loss, or divorce or separation. In a divorce or separation, you have one household that has two incomes, and in the split becomes two households with one income each. And now each household has to carry housing, utilities, food, all of that. And it becomes that much more expensive, and there's so much more weight on the table. Historically, what I see when a client has an interruption of income is that they will use credit and they will borrow money to supplement what they're missing, to supplement their lifestyle while they wait to get a job again until they get back up on their feet. Well, what I want you to assume is the worst, prepare for the worst, in that we don't know if this is going to be 2 weeks. At this point, it's been more than 4 weeks, but we don't know when a furlough or a layoff is going to be short-term or if it's going to be long-term. In 2008, so many people thought, I'm out of work now, but I'll be back to work in 2 weeks. And that ended up being 6 months. Or for some people, 2.5 years, and for many others, not at all. They didn't return to the workforce at all. And so when I look at budget profiles, when I look at financial statements, and I do an analysis with a client, I can see that the time off of work is not what hurt them. It's the amount of debt that escalated while they were off of work. And so all the more reason to be this much more vigilant as to what you're going to do with your budget. So let's take a quick look here. In this budget, we have our essentials. We have mortgage and rent. We have our car. We have food, groceries, utilities, credit cards, student loans, miscellaneous debt, loans, different types of loans that may be. Your insurance. This includes health insurance, life insurance, property insurance, and then entertainment. So what we want to do is strip down the budget because you're in survival mode right now. If you are operating on partial income or just going off of reserve, off of your savings, these are the people that you're going to take care of. You want to make sure that you have a roof over your head, a car in the driveway to get to the doctor's office, to those job interviews, and get the kids to school when they reopen, to get to the grocery store, food, and we got to keep the utilities on, credit cards. These guys can wait. Student loans, these guys can wait. Miscellaneous loans, these guys can wait. And natural entertainment can wait. Insurance, you have to keep up. So in total, what we're looking at is that this budget could cost you, when you have your regular income, could cost you a good amount. And what you're looking to do is to scale that back in a time of crisis and minimize the amount of money that's going out, because again, you have a limited amount of resources that you're trying to stretch out as long as possible. You don't want to assume that this is going to turn around, we're going to rebound, and we can continue to spend. If you have money in savings and you're sending money to your credit cards and your student loans and any miscellaneous debt, and that gets you 3 months covered, 4 months covered, but then now it's month 5, 6, and 7, and now you're looking at a mortgage deficiency, facing foreclosure, or threat of your car being repossessed. You're not going to be feeling as good about being on time and current with your student loans and your credit cards. Now, be aware, not paying on these creditors, not paying on these will have a negative impact on your credit report. Right now, during the pandemic, during this unprecedented time, there's information coming out that lenders are going to give you time. You're not going to get beat up on your credit, that you'll have 12 months or room to do so that your credit score doesn't get hammered, and then you have the ability to breathe and get some breathing space. But every lender, we're learning every day more and more that every lender is different, and what type of forgiveness or what type of space, how much they're going to work with you is completely different. They're operating on a scale that is beneficial to them. Okay? So keep that in mind. Err on the side of caution and be aware and be cognizant that not paying on these is going to have a negative impact on your credit score. And you have to ask yourself, what do I need right now? Do I need financial security or do I need a high credit score? One of these is going to be sacrificed. You're not going to be able to have both. This is essential and this is important. When your income changes, your expenses have to change as well. If you don't have that buffer, if you don't have 6 months, 12 months, 18 months of your monthly expenses already saved up, if you don't have this reserve, when your income changes, your expenses have to change as well. And far too often, I'll see a household where the income changes. Again, laid off, furlough, temporary job loss, separation. Income dramatically changes, but the expenses keep riding the same. Why? Because we have easy access to credit, and that creates a huge problem. It makes the debt hole bigger. And coming out of that, you might end up with the same job making the same amount, or a similar job making 10 or 20% less. If you were able to plan accordingly, now is the time to not supplement your income with credit cards, but instead, what you want to do is you want to, where you can, defer, trim, cut, and slash expenses. You want to shrink your financial footprint. You want to be lean and mean in a time of crisis so that coming out, you'll be able to get back up on your feet, you'll be able to contact these creditors, and you'll be able to negotiate or work to get back on up front with them. But what you don't want to do is saddle yourself with exponential and bigger debt coming out of this. I genuinely hope this was helpful. When you have the opportunity to be right or be kind, choose to be kind. And as always, I want to thank Dr. Wayne Dyer, Anthony Robbins, and Gary Vaynerchuk. I'll see you guys in the next video.